Welcome to the Global Adventure Community with your hosts Jeremy Isom and Bill Beckman, where we discuss issues such as leadership, education, adventure, and purpose through serving others.
Welcome to the Global Adventure Community with our host Jeremy Isom, and my name is Bill Beckman. Jeremy, what's going on, brother? What have you been up to these past couple of months?
Last couple of months definitely have been some travel, taking students out. We went on a canoe trip in July. We went to the Current River, which is in Missouri. That was an amazing trip. And got back, and just a couple days after that, my daughter got back from an internship with Impact Africa, where she was there for 2 months, and that was amazing and very
Cool.
life-changing for her. So really excited about the trip. Like the Current River trip was amazing. And then now just really the last couple weeks preparing for the year, getting back into the schools that we do after school programs with. We had a pool party as well, like a back to school pool party. And then just really just a lot with you about this year and how do we connect with students the best and how can we include the most. And also as school starts, just realizing everything of what we've been encountering of just young people longing for connection and just really affirming everything that we've been talking about and the need for community.
That's one of the reasons why I rebranded a little bit. So we were calling it the College Adventure Community, which is not actually really what we are targeting, because what we want is a group of people who don't necessarily have to go to college to come into our programs, the Global Adventures, and to be a part of a community that is just seeking, what was your word, what's next? About trying to figure out what's next in life and to be a support. So I changed the name of all of the ministries that we're doing and the adventures that we're doing, just more streamline it to be more inclusive, because the goal is to build a community. Now, there is going to be a global college adventure program we're going to be going into detail here in a little bit with, but we've rebranded just to make sure that it's more inclusive, to build a bigger and more diverse community, because that's what it's all about, building a community that supports each other. So tell me a little bit more about the canoe trip. What did you guys actually do? So you met over in Missouri.
We drove, it was about 7 hours from Louisville where we were at, and basically we went 27 miles in 3 days. The goal is to get the teenagers out of their comfort zone and doing it in community and relationship with someone, like if their canoe partner or their tent partner.
So did you guys camp out?
Tents and hammocks, and we were on the side of the water, so just pulled over and camped right there. And so canoeing a river that it's not just there's current, and you have to anticipate obstacles that are coming. And so when you're in a canoe, you have to work together with your partner. You have a front person, you have a back person, and each person has a specific role. If you both are trying to do the same thing and you're both not listening to each other, but you're in the same boat. So it's really, it's an interesting thing that exposes teenagers where they're at.
So you're trying to teach team-making skills.
Communication and team work where you have to know your role. And so you are in the front. Usually the person in the back is calling more of the shots because they have a better perspective, and you're following what the back person is telling you to do. It's knowing that partnership and that we need each other, which is what the community is all about. It's, hey, you don't have to do this alone. I actually enjoy canoeing because you have to work with a partner. We've done the trip for probably, this is the 6th or 7th year. And
So how many days did you guys camp out and everything?
we camped out 2 nights. So like we had a night where we had to have people pack in dry bags, and because you're in a canoe, there's a potential everything could get wet. So we have everybody pack, and then we come off the water and have a night where we dry off stuff and then drive home the next day or the last day.
So I've been working on a second edition to my book. I came out with Providing Purpose, How to Build a Life That Matters, which is a plan for your life. I started working on one for the Global Adventure Community that brings all of our programs into light, so that it's an explanation, a step by step on how to build a life, but more importantly, what we're trying to accomplish by building this community and what we're trying to accomplish by getting people equipped to make a success out of their lives and have some hope and future. And I've rewritten my book. I'm waiting for a couple of things to happen. It'll probably publish in the next couple of weeks. Now let's go into some of the things that you were talking about. What are you doing I know you were at CEC, Christian Education Consortium, and that you were doing a sign up, and what are your programs? What are you doing over there at the different schools?
You know, we do an after school program that we call Campus Life, and that's connected with Youth for Christ, which is the high school ministry of Youth for Christ. And then LEAP, we partner together with Campus Life to, during the school year.
And LEAP is your organization.
Is the organization that I run. And so we partner with Campus Life, same way that we're partnering with the global adventure community as well, and providing outdoor catalysts that help go deeper, get out of their comfort zone. And ultimately, our goal is getting them towards Christ and towards something deeper. So it's like spiritually the foundation of what we're trying to do, but it's also challenging them emotionally and physically. And so basically, with Campus Life, we partner together with Will Hallett, is the guy that runs Campus Life here in Louisville.
And Will was on our Adventure Guatemala.
He was in Guatemala as well. We are in 3 schools. So Tuesday, we're at CEC. Wednesday, we're at Male High School, which is a local high school here in Louisville. And then Thursday, we're at Manual High School. And then we are in the process of launching a 4th high school, which is Fern Creek School. And so we have a teacher, a student that wants to be a part of it. And then we also have a volunteer outside of the school that's willing to go there. So we're just trying to launch that as well. And so during the school year, every Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, we're going to be at a school for up to 2 hours, hanging out with students, really just personifying what is Christ-centered community, what does it look like, right, and being that community, not just talking about it. And so that's what we're working on the last couple of weeks, is really just launching that. And then Monday night, we do an all-community group as well. So that's a group where kids that we're inviting from schools, but it's also a kid from the neighborhood. And right now,
so just anybody can come.
Anybody can come.
Whatever can come.
And we've had a hodgepodge of homeschool kids coming to that because they don't have much community. They're not in a traditional school.
So I think that's what we're trying to do with the global adventure community, is to open up all these different opportunities. When we went to the Adventure Guatemala and climbed a volcano and built 2 homes for some needy families, to going on a trip like you just did, canoeing the Missouri River, or hiking the Grand Canyon, or doing some trips in the United States where you're doing some physical stuff and trying to serve other people, as well as going overseas. We have the Adventure Colorado that's planned for the end of May. We have an adventure in South Africa that we've got planned for July. Then we have a long-term plan for people that are going into college, a global college adventure where you can reduce the price of college to like way cheaper, like $15,000 or less for a degree, depending on the degree you pick, to then be able to do this long term and just to start traveling, experiencing, and that kind of thing. So in your mind, what exactly do you foresee what the global adventure community is?
Another opportunity that Bill and I have, as well as Will, who went to Guatemala with us and is part of Campus Life, is that we've been invited to go to, the acronym is NCYM, which is National Catholic Youth Convention, and it's in Indianapolis. And so we've been invited where we're going to be doing the games, and there's 15,000 youth there. And so I've really been thinking about what is a good way to talk about the global adventure community and what it looks like. And the question for me is, it's a simple question, but what's next? And I think that with teenagers that are seniors or juniors, the question's always, what are you going to do after high school? Are you going to go to college? You're going to go to trade school? Are you going to get a career? And there's all these lanes that are mapped out for you. And a lot of teenagers, or I would say there's teenagers that I'm with on a weekly basis that are like, I talked with a student last week. She did an internship during the summer where she was volunteering in the emergency room area, and it was very hard and it was like difficult, but that confirms I want to be a doctor. So like someone like that, she knows what she wants to do. She's a junior in high school. She knows what she wants. She needs to get a good ACT. She has it all mapped out. But at the same time, I was hanging out with a student last week that I'm not really sure if I want to do trade school. I don't even know if I want a career. I don't even know if I want to, I have no idea what I want to do. I have so many different thoughts that this person is frozen and not knowing what to do. I think that, and that's the pendulum. And I think we've all had those experiences where you're around people that you're talking to them and it's, man, they have everything figured out. And it makes me self-conscious to go, man, I need to be more dialed in like that. But then when you flip over to God's perspective of all of us, is that he designed Bill or myself differently. And we have different wiring. For me, when I think about the global venture community, is that we want to be able to create opportunities for community. It's adventure. Like there's a physical challenge, but the biggest thing is we're doing it in community. There's also an opportunity to see different parts of the world that will open your eyes to the community you potentially have grown up in and never been anywhere else. And then thirdly, that we want to come alongside young people and help them figure out what's next. If it's a customized college adventure alternative plan, like whatever the next step for them, we want to help them be able to do that effectively. And I think the biggest thing of what's next in any of our lives is it's rooted in relationships. Is that we're going to do effectively next, you're going to need to have solid relationships. And then ultimately have a solid relationship with your Savior and God. That's the common denominator, that whatever you're going to be doing next in life is you're going to need relationships. And if you don't have relationships, you're not going to be able to succeed. You can't do it. And even like with adventure, like it's not just adventure, or if it's not even the plan, where it's, I know exactly what I want to do. I want to be a doctor. Okay, what's the community of people that are going to be able to come alongside to do that? And that was the big thing with she was sharing in detail about some gruesome things that she experienced as a volunteer. She's a senior in high school, so she's very young, but seeing people literally pass away in front of her eyes. And I was like, man, that must have been so traumatic. She goes, it was really hard, but people around me, I had community that I met there
to deal with it,
helped me get through it. And then I was like, did that make you want to do it even more? She goes, yeah, now I know what I want to do because it was hard, but I was making a difference. It's deeply rooted in your purpose, but there's a lot of other young people out there that are like, hey, I don't know what it is, and we want to create a catalyst for them with other young people similar to themselves. And Colorado's the onboarding week. We have this beautiful, amazing spot. Hey, use this as a place, a staging ground for young people.
Exactly.
And we really want to use that as a spot where if you're a teenager or a young person that's, hey, I need community, I don't know what's next, come along. And we want to basically put it at a price point where everyone can come. No one can say no, because it's going to be cheap. It'll be amazing. It's going to be, we'll have awesome food, but we're going to have awesome adventure as well. But really, that's the launching pad where we want to be able to say, you know, from that, be able to have 2 to 3 adventures next year. If it be walking the Camino, or if it be going to Thailand and riding some elephants, who knows, or is it going to Machu Picchu? I think the biggest thing is that there's a physical challenge, there is community stuff, there's serving people that are also serving in that community, or so it's coming along people that need help. And then, yeah, going back to, it's about community. It's about, like, how do we encourage each other to do what's next?
To me, it's all about shared experiences. So you and I are friends today. We went on, I don't even know if we were even on the same team, but we went on a trip together, and just by being in a community, we are sitting here talking today. We went through experiences where we traveled all over the world. So what we're trying to do is give shared experiences to build relationships with each other that will then be lifetime relationships, and at the same time offer you mentorship. Anybody who goes on our programs is going to get mentored into the talent and skill that they have, that God's given them. We're going to offer many opportunities for each of the people that participate. Our whole goal is not to build some program just to make a program. If, let's say, you are wanting to go to University of Kentucky or one of the other colleges, if that's the route that you're supposed to take, then we'll help you get into that route. But we'll also offer adventures to you. You can still be a part of our community through going on some of these global adventures that we'll have, and we'll offer things that'll happen during the breaks, the Christmas breaks and the spring breaks, to be able to develop a support system with Christian relationships and help to, like you were saying, the person who's mapped it all out. I remember going to college, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I think I changed my major 2 or 3 times. But then I went to Oral Roberts University, and I found some guy who knew what he's wanting to be, a nuclear submarine engineer, and he's known that he wanted to do that since he was like 6, and he's got it all mapped out. Well, just by being around him, I started mapping out my future, started making some hard decisions, or realizing that, hey, wait a minute, hey, eventually I'm going to get married. Eventually I'm going to have to support a family. And because I was around people like that, I started changing the way I was thinking. And I think that's what happens when you're in a community and you're going on these adventures. You're starting to see, hey, this guy's really talented. Oh, let me take on those positive characteristics of that person. Let me hang out with him. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should do things a little bit differently. And then as we do these adventures together, which are going to be really fun, we're going to also serve others. I think that's what makes up a community of like just being able to take the positive characteristics and the support structure from other people that will allow you to be a success in life so that you won't feel like you're going through life by yourself. Because I think that's why we're having hopelessness, depression, suicide. A lot of that is because we don't have somebody that is a friend. And I think that if we can develop this, if anybody who comes on our programs, you're going to automatically be included in a group of friends who are going to edify you and build you up.
I think it's to be able to come alongside each other, to encourage each other, like you were mentioning, a community that's helpful in our differences. You and I have different makeup as far as wiring, but we're better together in the sense of because your skills are different than mine. And I think being able to foster that community that's helping a young person connect the dots, this really beautiful tapestry or whatever. There was a lady during the World War II that was put in jail. Hiding place is what she called the hiding place. And Corrie ten Boom has the tapestry outside, because I went to the tour of the place where they hid the Jews and stuff, but she has this picture where it's like, hey, this is our life and it looks all beautiful here, but then you turn the backside and it's all a mess. All the things are tied together. And I think that's one image in my mind. I'm thinking, we want to be this perfect thing, but really we're a mess, number one. And you're going back to that picture where you are connecting the dots. And there's young people that are like, I have no idea where I'm at. I'm like at 1, I don't know how to get to 2, but being able to come alongside them and say, dude, we see this in you. You got this. And being able to like just get that picture moving a little bit down the road. And I think for some, this will be that catalyst that they need to get off their butts so they can get moving. And I think the other great thing, just to plug the global adventure community specifically with the resource of Bill, is that Bill has worked in over 60 countries. Is that right?
Yeah, I've been to 60 countries, worked 20 years doing international business, doing accounting, finance, put together a merger in Kazakhstan, joint venture with the Kazakhstan oil company, with my company. I did a lot of international experience. But one of the key things that I did was I worked in human resources. And when I was doing the human resources, I was like, wait a second, why do people not follow some kind of plan with their lives? So let's say you don't know what you want to do right now. I always say, pick something, not the next job, not the next $12 an hour job to work at Chick-fil-A. Not that Chick-fil-A is a bad deal. But think about things longer term. So let's say as you're going through life, you're going to need some skills. So when I was in HR, I said, okay, start a job that's 10 years from today and then build a plan based on that. Marissa's a good example of this. Marissa's very good. Probably had several things she could be very good at. She's very personable. And she wants to do marketing. So I was telling her, pick something 10 years from today, then develop your framework on this is what I need to get to that job or that career or the skill set that I need. So like on a job advertisement, they'll say, we need a marketing director. Most students don't think, they just think about the initial one. But if you go look at a job paying you $150,000 a year, they'll tell you what they need to get to that job. So you just build your career path based on looking at 20 of those job descriptions and figuring out a pathway. So that's the kind of thing that I did in my book is I actually formalized a process on step-by-step mentorship that we can do. And that's what we're going to be teaching on what's next. So if you're a student and you don't know what the heck you want to do with life, which is the majority, we'll help you find out what your skill set is, move you into the correct path. You're still going to have the opportunity to change too, but we'll give you a really low cost way of getting the credentials that you need. So we'll give you a guide for your entire life, but you'll do it on a journey with all of our community members, all our global adventure community. So you're doing all these cool things at the same time. I went to Machu Picchu. I met the president of Nicaragua when we went overseas on one of our missions trips. I went to Panama. We talked to Noriega's men, where the guy who used to rule Panama, who became a drug dealer, and the U.S. took him out. All of these things because we went on these global adventures. What did we just do? We climbed a volcano. How many people climb a volcano on this last adventure we did? We're going to do the same thing on these global adventures, but while we're doing that, we're going to be talking to you about what's next. To me, this thing's open to everybody, does not know what they want to do with their lives, and we're going to be mentoring and guiding and leading each of you into what your skill that God has given you, what your natural skills that each one of you has. That to me is the community.
And that's the beauty of it, is that we look at it from different angles, and that's the beauty of whoever we're inviting. Because I was even thinking about, you got people that could be dialed in on their career, but they don't have relationships. They do not have a community. And so I think what we're saying is the foundation of having a healthy community, like within LEAP, the organization I run, it's like we talk about, we want to develop and basically nurture deep, diverse, and generous community. It's like the right community, really, you can face any obstacle. And also, if you have the good community, it doesn't even matter where or what you're doing. And I think for me, it was embodied. I might have shared this in another context, but basically it was embodied when I had a small group of students. We were in the San Blas Islands, which is off the coast of Panama, where we dropped off a group of 30 teenagers. They're on an island for a week. So they're on an island for 5 days, just connecting with that community, hanging out. And it hit me where the boat was to pick us up at some crazy time, like 2 a.m. in the morning or something like that, or 3 a.m. The boat was to pick us up. So we went out to the dock, 3 a.m. And ends up being 4 a.m. Ends up being 5 a.m. Ends up being 6 a.m. And I remember like just going, man, no one's complaining. None of them even asked, are we leaving? They were such a great connection with each other. It didn't matter where they were. It was so rich, and the connection was so deep that it was like, oh, are we supposed to leave? And so I think really that's the vision of the global adventure community and these little catalysts that we want to create, is that we want to create such rich community that's encouraging. And even when you go back home, you're like, man, I'm not alone. I got people that are on my side. And that moving to the next thing, you're going to have people there. Every part of the next thing is always going to have people a part of it.
I think that's why the focus is whenever we're, going on a global adventure and you're going to have a great time. That's great. But really what we're talking about is when you come home. How do you continue to have deep, diverse, and generous relationships when you're at home and you're feeling lonely, you're feeling depressed because you had this great time and then all of a sudden the adventure highs dropped. The goal of our community is to, during the downtimes, to keep in contact, keep communicating, keep having the students keep communicating with each other as they're headed down towards a pathway of success that we give them, a mentorship path, whether it's going to college on our Global College Adventure or helping them to develop. I did a podcast with Josh. Josh is doing plumbing. We're talking about what his next steps on plumbing is. Same thing with every single person that's on this community. We want to be a part of you in the down times, not just in the adventure highs. It's not about doing a bunch of trips. It's about having deep, diverse, and generous relationships when you come home so that you have a support structure. And I think that's what's missing in our society today is everybody does these cool things, but then you're by yourself again and you feel all alone again.
I think the other thing going back to Colorado is really that's going to be a small group of people. We're hoping to have maybe 20-ish, maybe more than that. But it's like with that group of people, we're really going to go, okay, where do you guys want to go next? What adventure do you guys want to do in the fall based on what do we want to do? And so like they're going to Grand Canyon, or it could be something where we do the Appalachian Trail. Component is key, but it's only one key of the process. And I think that's my background comes more from the adventure education based. I have a master's in that. Deep International is adventure education, but it's combining this experiential piece and then the practical piece that Bill's talking about. Hey, you could have your plan, you can get your degree from this college, but we want to create these opportunities for connection alongside that. If you want to do something else, we're not saying it just has to be one or the other. It really is, we want to be a community that helps you do your next thing and thrive. And everyone's welcome.
So we have talked about the Adventure Colorado, where we're going to go and get to know each other. We're going to do adventure hikes. You can go fly fishing. Then we're going to get to know each other, make plans, help mentor you. The second step is we also have an adventure in South Africa. I actually went out to South Africa. Rich and Michelle Franzen have a really cool ministry called Impact Africa in Johannesburg, in the squatter camps of Johannesburg, South Africa. And we are going to go out there and do a short-term trip with the option of doing a South Africa internship as well. So you can do a short-term trip, which is probably going to be 10 to 12 days. And then from there, you got the opportunity to do a internship where you could do like a semester abroad, gap year. They've got all different lengths of internships there. They've got an internship director that's already there. I met them. I actually went out and spoke to, I think they had 24 college students there at the time from various colleges around the country. And we're going to take our group and we'll hand them off to Rich and Michelle if you're going to do the long term and be a part of their program. But at the same time, you'll have the opportunity for a short term. We're working in the squatter camps. They have a baby rescue that literally people were so poor they were throwing their babies away. Well, Rich started a baby rescue ministry where he basically has a post office box for babies. So people will drop off their baby at the school and he has homes for them and he puts those babies up for adoption. So you'll have opportunities to go and participate in those activities, that ministry that he has. And at the same time, we're going to go on an African safari. What an adventure. How many times are you going to have a chance to go on an African safari? At the same time, you're going to work and make a real difference. Like we went out and the people are really friendly and they speak the same language. Some of them speak more than one language, but most of them speak English. And they also have interpreters if there's some of the tribal languages there. And we went out and just ministered door to door and got to know people, which was really cool. So there's a lot of opportunities that we're going to be doing. So we've got the Global Adventure Colorado, which is going to be U.S. based, but then we have an opportunity to go and do some really cool ministry in South Africa later on in July. And then at the same time, do the global internship with Rich and Michelle. Yeah. And you can do the global college program while you're doing it. His internship has accredited college credit as well.
The beauty of all these trips is that if you're working a college degree alternative program, you're going to have time in the day on these trips to do it. We'll build that into the schedule. And so that's the other thing too about with the global adventure community. People say they're going to take a gap year, which is great. Take a gap year, figure out what you want to do. This is that, but it's also you could take a gap year, travel, and you also could be getting college credit at the same time. So this is a hybrid of both.
Exactly. It's a gap year where you're not really falling behind.
Yeah, you actually could be ahead of the game. And I think the things that you learn on the experiential part, and many times are the most milestone, life-changing, transformational things that are way beyond just a course you took. I feel like right now with the colleges in the U.S., it's pretty niche, and it's whatever school you go to, they're just going to shove you in the thing they got. So they're like, go do this major and do this thing because this is what we got. And even within the Christian school circles where it's like they're getting in so much debt.
Let me give you a quick rundown on that. So this degree plan, we utilize alternative education. So let me give you an example. My daughter did 18 hours of CLEP credit, which is taking an exam. You study for it, and they have a free site and a free voucher. Once you've completed the study, you go take that voucher and get a free exam. If you pass it, you get credit. So she got 18 hours of college credit for free. Okay.
It's a whole semester.
So then, now listen to this. So then she went to Sophia. So Sophia has agreements already with Liberty University, which is one of our preferred universities, and also with Colorado State University Global. You pay $100 a month. You can take as many classes as you want. She did 2 classes then. So for $100, it was 24 credit hours, which is almost a full year. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about.
Semester, that is crazy, dude. Wow. And so if there's a student out there that wants to get more information about it, let them know, how do they do that? Do they go to the website?
Okay. So you go to the globaladventurecommunity.com. You'll fill out a form, and then as soon as you fill out that contact list, I will give you for free. This is not something we're trying to make money off of. We will give you a free college degree plan if that's what you want to do. But let's say you don't want to go to college. Just come to our Global Adventure Colorado. We'll integrate you into our community, and you'll start doing trips, and we'll just talk about your future, get you onto the next step path. So the key is we will place you and help guide you every step of the way through adventure, community, college planning. If you don't want to do college, we'll help you into the trades. We'll at least give you a plan so that you can work on.
Yeah, and I would say too, if you're hearing the podcast, if you're going, hey, I got some ideas, or hey, did you think about this? Contact Bill. Or I know that there's also parents that are in this zone of my kid has no idea what they want to do. I think another way to look at this too is it really is for the homeschool parent. It's homeschooling your kids, either their associate's degree, at least, or it could be bachelor's degree. You could do a hodgepodge of things similar to the way you can do high school or middle school or elementary as a homeschool parent. This is a way to alternatively do school in a totally different way, especially your associate's degree. So if you're a student out there and you're like, I have no idea what I want to do, I'm just going to go to community college, talk to us. We could give you something that would be equal or less expensive, and you get to travel the world, have community, and still get a degree out at the same time. But awesome.
That's pretty much a summary of what we're attempting to accomplish. We are doing it, right? We had the Global Adventure Guatemala. We're going to have the Global Adventure Colorado and the Global Adventure South Africa. Those are in the works already.
And then go somewhere. We're going to go
more than likely
Camino
Thailand,
so
Grand Canyon.
Next year there'll be multiple trips and multiple opportunities for you to jump in.
It's been good talking to you, brother. And all right, man.
We'll see what's next,
man.